Good day, I am Jethro Gonzalez Vestel, a third year BS Mari student of Palompan Institute of Technology. Have you ever wondered what makes us human? Are we just our bodies? Or is there something more, something deeper that defines who we are? Today, we're going to explore a simple idea called the dichotomy approach. It's a way of understanding humans by dividing us into two parts, the material and immaterial part. Let's break it down in a way that's easy to understand. In the dichotomy, human composition is composed of the material and immaterial part. Now, in the material worldview, it says that humans are only composed of physical things, the body, the brain, muscle, eyes, ears, etc. They don't believe in immaterial. In the immaterial part, we are composed of mind, strength, soul, and feelings. If you have noticed, the material aspect of humans are the tangible ones, meaning they can be touched and seen. In the immaterial aspect, on the other hand, are the intangible ones. These aspects of human composition are those that cannot be seen or touched. Man is composed of material and immaterial, internal and external. The immaterial part is the deciding or the directing factor, while the material is the influencing factor. Let me explain why. In the object of philosophy, we have faith, belief, practice, and reason. That's why every time we act, we have so-called action. The soul consists of intellect, will, and emotion, and this comprises our personality. And because we have a personality, thus we are called a person. Are demons and angels person? Yes, they are persons, but not humans. That's why God said, let's create man in our own image. And that's the immaterial one. And we are just wrapped in material, the body, brain, etc. And that's why when we die, these two separate. If death is defined as separation of the material and immaterial part, see that this is a soul and this is the body. Even if you hurt the dead, it will not even react or hurt you back again. This is the very reason why the material part is the deciding factor and the material is the influencing factor. Since in a dead body, the soul is separated. Its body wouldn't even react even if you hurt them. To see the broader picture, everything that is the immaterial part wants to do influences the material part to act. Another example of the dichotomy approach is that when you are sick, your body might feel weak, but your spirit or emotions might still keep you strong. And also, when you're making a big decision, your brain might analyze facts, the material part, but your heart or intuition, the immaterial part, might guide you in another way. So why is this idea important? It reminds us that being human is about balance. We need to take care of both our body and our soul. If we only focus on our physical side, like working out and eating right, we might miss out on what makes life meaningful, like love and kindness. But if we only focus on our spiritual side, we might ignore the basic needs of our body, like rest and health. The dichotomy approach helps us see the whole picture. It shows that it shows us that we are complex beings made of both matter and something much more. To sum it up, the dichotomy approach divides us into two parts, the material or physical body and the immaterial or the spiritual side. Together, these two parts make us who we are. Our body lets us live and interact with the world, while our soul gives us meaning and purpose. So, the next time you wonder about what makes us human, remember, it's not just about what we can see or touch. It's also about what we feel and believe deep inside. That's the beauty of being human. Take care of both parts of yourself, your body and your soul, because together they make you whole. Relativism is a philosophical concept that suggests that truth, morality, or values are not absolute, but are instead relative to perspectives, cultures, or individual contexts in which they arise. This means that what is considered true or right for one person or culture might not be true or right for another. The question is, can moral relativism create harmonious and orderly society? To answer this, my answer is no. Here is why. There is a philosophical statement which states that two opposing statements cannot be true at the same time. It is possible for both of them to be wrong, but it is impossible for both of them to be right. If I am about to steal one's property and I consider my actions correct, given that relativism exists in this kind of society, are my actions considered wrong? No, because the victim has no right to tell me that my actions are wrong because we live in a relative society. There is no absolute truth. In addition to that, here are some reasons why relativism cannot achieve harmonious and orderly society. First, relativism has a lack of common ground. Without shared moral principles, it may be challenging to establish laws or norms that everyone agrees upon. This could lead to chaos or fragmentation within society. For example, if one group believes in individual freedoms while other prioritizes communal well-being, it might be hard to find a resolution without a universal moral framework. Secondly, relativism promotes the lack of moral accountability. If morality is entirely subjective, individuals or groups may justify harmful actions based on their own moral perspectives, like I've said earlier, or what I have exampled earlier, undermining societal order. Extremist ideologies, for example, might use relativism to defend unethical behavior. Also, if relativism exists, it will cause erosion of justice. A harmonious society often relies on concepts of justice and fairness that are universally recognized. Moral relativism also might dilute these concepts, making it harder to address issues like human rights abuses. Lastly, is that it can cause potential for inequality without a shared moral standard. Power dynamics might dominate, where stronger groups impose their moral views on weaker ones, leading to systemic inequality rather than harmony. And those are just some of the reasons why relativism cannot achieve harmonious and orderly society.